Well, I think in October when we opened the Keeper's House, it was a real return to me for restaurants. I felt it was time again to put more what I would call high street feel into museums. I mean, I think a lot of the time when I started working in museums and galleries, people just wanted food. They thought, let's make it better than it was, and as long as they're fed nicely, everyone will be happy. But I think now, with the commercial environment that galleries operate under, they want a far more competitive offer. They want people not to leave the building. They want them to spend the money in the building. In terms of the Royal Academy, you have 100,000 friends, you have lots of people who want to be involved with living artists and they want to meet the artists. So the whole idea here was about engaging with the artists who are RAs here, giving the place a club feel and making sure that artists and the public could meet in the same place. Also, the idea of being in an arts environment and drinking is always good. The first menu cover is by a guy called Conrad Shawcross, who's an RA, and my brother-in-law. He's a young RA. I think part of the idea anyway is to really try and broaden the base of the RA and bring in younger RAs, bring in younger people. And I think what happens is, for example, in the schools here, that we want the schools people to use the bar at night, we want the artists to use the bar, the artists get a discount in the bar. I think there's lots of different rooms here, including the academicians' room, where patrons can meet the artists. There's lots of common spaces, and I think everybody, RA, including myself, are quite keen that it just evolves and develops into something. We're not really after competing in a high street environment. We're after creating something for the long term. Every season we'll have a new artist do the menu cover, so there'll be a limited edition. That inspiration came from going and looking in the libraries here, because artists used to, originally when the RA was created, they used to create the menus and they used to sign them, and it was all very much food orientated. The wine list should have 20 RA wine labels, all created specifically by the artists. So once you come and only be drinking art wine. So far we have Gary Hume, Tracy Emin, Michael Craig Martin. We have a Hockney in the offing. We have a Conrad Shawcross in the offing. Lots of people. They all take time. Sometimes it takes a year and a half to do them. No matter what you do in a restaurant, the idea in your head and the reality is always different. One always hopes that what you do is going to be as you dream, but I've never done one where it is, ever. For better or for worse, either with low expectations or high expectations, they've never been the same. The food we're trying to achieve is really food that you have to ask me in a year's time, because I think it's extremely hard on young chefs to create modern food in central London. The pricing in Keeper's House, to me, is too cheap. In a way, because when you have wild sea bass, like real wild sea bass, or when you have rare breed meat that is produced directly for us, it just costs money. It's primary ingredient and the use of what I would describe as technique. So the costs of running the restaurant are very high. Genuinely, I hate people leaving a restaurant feeling that the prices are too high. We are constantly looking at the pricing structure of our dishes. I don't want anyone to think that we're too expensive. I'll have failed. My plans for this restaurant are, I want this to be one of our stalwart restaurants, and I want people to work here and come through here and move on to other parts of the company. And I feel good about it. My job is to offer a diverse range of things in museums and galleries, and I want to take people from the high street and bring them into museums, even if they just want to eat and drink, because these are wonderful spaces. Like at night time, if you bring somebody from New York through the courtyard of the Royal Academy and in here for a cocktail, into that little garden and in here to eat, that's a world-class experience. And I think we have to be proud of these places that we operate in and sort of make sure we get the word out and make them a good experience.